You lean in, eyes closed, breath held. Two mouths touch, and in the next 10 seconds, roughly 80 million bacteria change owners. Oxytocin floods your bloodstream, and your heart rate climbs the way it does in mild danger. It feels instinctive. It feels like something written into your body since the beginning. No candlelit dinner needed. No mistletoe, no first kiss under a porch light. Those are recent inventions layered on top of something older. Strip all of that away, and the gesture itself is still strange when you look at it directly. Two people pressing the most bacteria-rich part of their bodies together, on purpose, for fun. So where did this actually come from? Not the greeting card version, the real one, buried in fur, fossilized plaque, and 100,000-year-old teeth. So why do humans kiss at all? In 2024, primatologist Adriano Lamera at the University of Warwick proposed an answer that reframes the whole question. He calls it the groomer's final kiss. Watch two chimpanzees groom, sessions that can run 20 minutes or longer, and the ritual doesn't just stop cold. It ends with the groomer puckering its lips and sucking directly against the other's skin, latching onto ticks, dirt, and parasites its fingers couldn't quite pull free. Lamera argues that as human ancestors lost their body hair, there was less fur to comb through, and grooming sessions shrank dramatically. The hygiene faded out. That final puckered sucking motion didn't. It's the part we kept. It's the part we're still doing, on dates, 4 million years later. So what happened once that gesture stopped being about parasites? In 2017, paleomicrobiologist Laura Weyrich at the University of Adelaide sequenced fossilized dental plaque from Neanderthals recovered at El Cedrón in Spain and Spy Cave in Belgium. Buried in that ancient tartar, her team found a microbe called Methanobrevibacter oralis. It matched a strain modern humans still carry, and the genetic split between the two dated to somewhere between 112,000 and 143,000 years ago, long after Neanderthals and our own species had branched apart on the family tree. Weyrich read on the evidence. Two separate species of human were swapping spit, kissing, most likely, or sharing food mouth to mouth. Either way, it happened before farming, before cities, before Homo sapiens had even finished spreading out of Africa. Everyone assumes kissing is something humans invented. It isn't. In 2025, evolutionary biologist Matilda Brindle at Oxford ran a phylogenetic analysis across the primate family tree. Chimpanzees, bonobos, orangutans, and one population of gorillas, all confirmed kissers, and calculated that the ancestor humans share with chimps and bonobos, alive roughly 6 to 8 million years ago, most likely kissed too. The behavior isn't a human specialty. It's a hand-me-down. So when did it become a specifically human, specifically romantic act, the kind that shows up in poetry instead of pest control? The late Vaughn Bryant, an anthropologist who ran the Department of Anthropology at Texas A&M for decades, traced the earliest written record to the Vedas, Sanskrit texts from ancient India, roughly 3,500 years old. In them, the words for kiss and sniff are interchangeable. Bryant's theory, before lips ever touched, people greeted each other by pressing their faces close and inhaling, reading scent the way a modern stranger reads a name tag. Somewhere along the way, the sniff slid into contact. The nose's job got handed to the mouth. But here's where it gets strange. In 2015, anthropologist William Jankowiak at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, led a study across 168 cultures worldwide, checking ethnographic records for evidence of romantic, mouth-to-mouth kissing. He expected to find it almost everywhere. Instead, only 77 of those cultures, 46%, showed any evidence of it at all. In the Middle East, kissing appeared in 10 out of 10 cultures studied. Among sub-Saharan African, New Guinean, and Amazonian foraging societies, ethnographers reported none. The Mehinaku of the Amazon bite each other's eyebrows to show affection. They don't kiss. So the gesture you assumed was hardwired into the species turns out to work more like a regional dialect, fluent in some places, never spoken in others. There's a cost buried in all of this too. In 2022, geneticist Christiana Scheib at the University of Cambridge sequenced ancient DNA from 4 skeletons and recovered the oldest known genomes of herpes simplex virus 1, the strain behind cold sores. The dominant lineage still living in human mouths today traces back roughly 5,000 years, to the Bronze Age, right around the same window when written records of romantic kissing first appear in South Asia and start spreading toward Europe. Sheeb's team thinks that timing isn't a coincidence. More kissing meant a new route for the virus to jump between adults, not just from mother to newborn. By the 1st century AD, the Roman Emperor Tiberius reportedly tried to ban kissing at official functions, not for propriety, but because he suspected it was spreading disease. So which is the real answer? The grooming instinct inherited from apes millions of years ago, the interspecies exchange written into Neanderthal teeth, the sniff-turned-kiss from ancient India, the virus that hitched a ride once the habit caught on. All of them, really, layered on top of each other like sediment. The obvious explanation feels romantic: love, connection, chemistry. But look at the fossil record, the microbiome data, the ethnography, and the real answer is older and stranger. Kissing was never really about affection. It was about information. Bodies checking bodies, for health, for compatibility, for whether this particular set of bacteria was one you wanted living in your own mouth. Romance was just the story told afterward, to explain a habit that started as inspection. So picture it again. You lean in, eyes closed, breath held. Somewhere in that half-second, 4 million years of grooming apes, 100,000 years of Neanderthal teeth, and one Bronze Age virus are all quietly along for the ride, wearing the disguise of pure feeling. What you call a kiss, your ancestors might have called a health check. What they built as a hygiene habit, you turned into the entire plot of every love song ever written. Somewhere between the fur and the poetry, the species took something practical and made it sacred. Maybe that's the actual story of being human. We keep dressing survival up as love, and somehow it works. For thousands of years before it meant romance, a kiss meant something closer to a health inspection. Two mouths pressed together on purpose, checking bacteria, scent, and compatibility, long before anyone called it love. This video traces kissing back through ape grooming rituals, 100,000-year-old Neanderthal teeth, ancient Indian scripture, and a virus that may have hitched a ride on the habit once it caught on.